Hello, hello, hello! Welcome to FlossTube 52. Yay! How have you all been doing? I've been doing quite alright, I guess. I'm back to stitching, as you all know. Not all, maybe, but the ones who are following along on Instagram and FlossTube, and those of you who have watched the other videos I made this year. So it is the 28th of January today, and I thought I should make a kind of wrap up video for cross stitching, reading, and I will show you a little bit what else I've been doing last year, because I haven't only been reading. I have actually been knitting and stitching on some other things a little bit. So I thought I could show you that. So I think we should start with the big event on Heaven and Earth Designs over at Facebook. There is a stitch along going on where we got to choose one design from, choose between 10 different designs. Yeah, I chose Bernardet, which is a very pretty bird looking into a mirror, and I will put a picture up here beside me. Yeah, it wasn't very easy to choose because, yeah, we don't have to talk about that. You can watch the earlier videos about the stitch along. Anyway, you can't join anymore. You had to join before the new year. So we are a nice little group over there, talking and sharing pictures and just having a good time. So I calculated that I need to stitch about 168 stitches every day for a whole year to have a finish on the last day of this year. And I am on track so far. I had a good start the first week this year because I had a vacation, so I had time for both stitching and reading. So I will show you my progress on Bernardet. And this is my progress so far. So nice. I have this part left before being finished with the next row, and then I will go down here. I'm stitching this one on 28 count, a full cross, 1/1, and I'm enjoying it. My favorite part is so far like this. There's a white flower here, but I like these color combinations. They remind me of a passion for the future. Another design I really want to stitch on. Surprise. Yeah, but that's a really cool design. It's very easy. It's a regular, regular color. I'd say it's a quick stitch. It's a 12-page design. But you know, like in these areas here, there is a lot of color blocking, and there is almost still, well, I haven't really encountered any wild confetti. So maybe a little bit here and up here, but no, nothing bad. So it's going pretty fast stitching it. So that's Bernardet. I really like her. I'm very happy that this has inspired me to start stitching again. And yeah, there are days I feel very motivated to stitch, and there are days I don't want to stitch at all, and then I don't. But this is nice. And like I said, the people over there who are also stitching the Bernardet, yeah, you know, you get a few, maybe 10 people at least, who like to show their picture every day, and yeah, you talk about it, and yeah, you know, you become a part of the community, which is the thing that I like about cross-stitching and the social media stuff. Should I say something else about this? I'm doing the Royal Row method, where you park and stitch within like a tower, as she call it. The lady who has started calling it the Royal Row method, and I like that very much because it's very structured and very focused on a small area. And I like to park, which I think you know. Yeah, I really like that way of stitching. So if you have any questions about the stitch along, please just let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. And yeah, as I said, there's also a video, just not the one before, but like 2 videos ago or something, where I talk a little bit more about the head, and I mean the saddle, and then I show you how I'm stitching. I've done 2 videos, one live on New Year's Day early in the morning, and one just a week ago or something with some music. Anyway, so as I said, this saddle has inspired me to stitch. And last year I did stitch on my Once Upon a Fairy Tale. So I've actually mostly focused on that whip when I felt like cross-stitching. So I was thinking, this is the one I really love, and this is the one, if I focus on that, you know, I could get a lot of progress, which is, you know, also motivating to keep on stitching. So the other day I was like, well, I have just a little part left on the whip before it's time to move the Q-snap. So I started stitching a little bit on that, and it was such a difference going from Bernardet, which I just showed you, which is like a quick stitch, regular amount of colors and a lot of color blocking, and then going to a supersized max color and a bookshelf, which is just slammed with confetti. So I wanted to show you, because this will bring me into also the last year, what I was doing. But this week I also stitched on my fairy tale, and it was this part here I had left, and it's finished, and it's time to move the Q-snap. So I thought I was going to do that, but I don't know if we'll be able to see the whole design or my progress, but let's remove. I think I might need to switch the Q-snap to a newer one so I can tense it up a little bit. I like my fabric to be, you know, drawn tight. Some like it more loose, and some really wants it really stretched. And my Once Upon a Fairy Tale, I stitch on a 25 count, full cross, 1/1, and I'm using Q-snap, and I'm using Q-snaps just because they can't fit on my scroll bars. I have the largest one I can get from Almanac. Well, yes, I think you know which one I'm talking about. So here we go. Here we go. Whee! Have to peek over the edge. Let's see. I love this design, really. Look at this. So nice. Yeah, so cool. So I think I have finished 8 pages. So it should be about 8% done. Whee! And so my plan is to start up here and cover another 2 pages wide and 2 down, so 4 pages, another 4 pages. That's like the perfect fit within these Q snaps. I have a 7 by 11 Q snap, and that's 4 pages, fits perfect here in that one. And the way I have been stitching this one is I have been stitching like 2 squares on the wide, 2 squares wide, and then 3 squares down. So if we're talking like royal row, my tower has been like a 20 times 30, so 600 stitches total. And then I finish all the stitches within those 6 squares, and then I park underneath or to the side. But you know, I can park anywhere, and as you can see, sometimes I just keep on stitching. But since I'm moving the Q snap, I don't have any of the threads parked at the moment. But anyway, since there is so much confetti all the time, on this design at least, you stay a long time within those 6 squares, which is fine with me. I do have a feeling that the stitching goes pretty fast, I guess. Yeah, it does. But then I was thinking, because I really like the royal row, how organized and structured that way of stitching is, and it kind of right now it gives me a bit of like soothing, I don't know, soothing, therapeutic. Anyway, I don't have to think, you know, I can just relax. I just have my, you know, 200 stitches if I keep to just 10 and 20 down, so just a small tower. So I'm actually thinking of trying that. First, when I started this, I tried like cross-country stitching, whole crazy, whole wild. I hated it. I didn't like it. So I went back to parking, and then I started parking within those 600 squares, 600 stitches squares. So I'm thinking I should just do the royal row for a while on this. And I was thinking maybe you should just, you know, go the royal row all the way to the other end. That would be cool. But then I'm like, then you have to stitch the sky for, I don't know, is it like 13 pages more? And I don't know if I want to do that. So I might just try royal row for 2 pages wide, and then go down like, so I do a royal row within 4 pages. I think I'm going to try that. and that makes me feel like, yeah, I wanna get started on it like right now. So yeah, Once Upon a Fairy Tale. And yeah, do you have any questions about it? Just let me know, and I will try to answer them as good as I can. Where do I have? Oh, that's another one. Where did I put the bag? There. This is one of my cheap project bags, and I have yeah, I have a special system for my Once Upon a Fairy Tale. I have threads on these, so I have 7 of these to cover all the colors, and then I have a box with all the material pack for the cross stitch, and then I have a lid for the box where I have made a way to park my needles with threads, and it's a big thread mess, but it works very well. And there was a lady over, yeah, what was her name? Oh, she was so wonderful. I know she liked building Lego. Was she from Lithuania, Estonia? Somewhere over there. She showed that way of doing things, and that fit me very, very well. So, Once Upon a Fairy Tale, once, you know, I focus on that one piece, I get to stitch quite a lot. So those are the 2 cross stitches whips I've been working on the first month of this year. And as I said, Once Upon a Fairy Tale I was stitching on for a while. Yeah, to and from last year, a little bit every now and then. So, but I wanted to show you some other cross stitch things I have been working on last year. I think maybe I've showed you, I am pretty sure I've showed you pictures on Instagram. I don't think I have showed anything on YouTube. Now I'm just gonna put the Q-snap, maybe I can put it here. Sorry. Yeah, so which should I start? Did I say 2? No, I have 3 designs I want to show you, which I know I've been working on last year. I think some of you know that I'm kind of a big fan of the Hands Across the Sea samplers. And yeah, samplers, they're so beautiful, and I really like their designs. And they usually have like also a stitch along every year or every second year, depending on how big the project is. And I've always, always dreamed of stitching on 56 count. I just wanted that challenge, and I thought, this is not gonna happen, it's not gonna be, I won't be able to do it, but I have, and it was absolutely doable. I will just tighten this up, but I just stitched a little bit on the sampler, and this is how it looks. And it is, oh, sorry, it is so pretty. So this is 56 count linen. Very nice soft linen. I can't believe it. It's just, yeah, but with some glasses, and I had some magnifying glasses. I have some magnifying in my lamp, so it's absolutely doable. And it's the fancy materials. I have these silk threads called Avera Soie. Whereas, well, I know someone was laughing at me because it sounds like I'm saying soy. Like, yeah, I know pronunciation. Yeah, and we got some nice things to use. This one is really nice. It's a 3-inch tool, and you can use it by placing it in the corner at the corner of your fabric, and then you can see how far into the fabric you want to start. So that's a good tool. You can also do like Michelle Sayeda over at Heaven and Earth. She uses a post-it, which is also 3 inches. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money, you can do that as well. You also got this very sweet little, what you call that? Charm or something. Yeah. So it's very nice. I put it on my project bag. I should put it on the scissors, but I think I told you once about the accident where I had some sharp scissors with a nice heavy handmade scissor fob, and the weight somehow, I just dropped the needle and it stabbed my fabric. Strong, soft as steel. Yeah, so in the middle of the project there was a big hole, but I fixed it. So, but since that day I don't have scissor fobs. So I want to show you the very nice design which I'm stitching this on. Lucy Barber, 1857. And it is so pretty. So this is Hands Across the Sea, and their booklets are just so beautiful. And most of the times there's a little bit of information, like history about the girl who stitched the sampler. So this is very pretty, and I think there's some satin stitches, I know that, but I think that's all. Yeah, anyway, so I stitched on that last year. I actually think I have one of those project cards. I was supposed to, you're supposed to write when you started it. Well, and I have also stitched on my chatelaine designs. Yes, I have. I have quite a few kits, and I want to start them all. I could seriously just start them all. They are so beautiful, and every time I'm thinking like I'm gonna watch Outlander or read something from Outlander, I want to stitch the Outlander one, of course. But I will show you the small one first, which I know I have stitched on quite a bit last year. What did I do? No. I dropped all the fancy floss. Wait, hold on. Hold. Yeah. Okay. Which way should this one go? This way. I should remove this. I will tighten it up a little bit. Oh, I was in the middle of stitching, I guess. Anyway, here it is. It's a mini. It's a small chatelaine design. And this is my absolute favorite one from the small ones. It's called the mini mystery number 6, 4, I don't know, something like that. And it's the medieval city, and I have the big one as well. But I have a thing about buildings. I'm really crazy about buildings. When it comes to everything, you know, drawing, painting, coloring, photos, stitching, and just, I like buildings. So I have, what do I have? I think I'm actually, what am I stitching? I don't know. What am I stitching at this moment? I know I had a thread parked over here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. I can see that. See it now. Here I have some light blue stitches. I have that on that one and on this side, but I don't have it on the bottom one. So I guess that's what I was doing at that moment. What else? I'm sure there's a lot more backstitching left around the buildings, and I know there's going to be some trees, I think. And then I have all the beads. So I think, you know, it's not far from actually being finished, but this is nice. And if you ever want to, you know, try a chatelaine, and if you feel, you know, scared for the big ones, then absolutely you need to try one of the small ones. And I usually say, you know, just why spend money and time on something you don't love as much as maybe like the real big chatelaine? Just do it and ask for help. There's plenty of support and stitchers who are more than willing to help out. But I also stitched on my big chatelaine, the Poison Garden. I don't have a lot of room here, so I don't know how this is going to work. I have it in a scroll frame, and with this one I never take off my scroll frame. There was a lot of dog hair. I think I need to do something about that. And yeah, I have it in my scroll frame, and I have a bed sheet wrapped around it just to protect it as much as possible. Let's see. This is how it looks so far. Now I can't see the camera, so I don't know what you can see or not see. So I've finished a whole center, and then I've started with the arches, and I'm finished with the 2 garden squares up, and then I've started stitching these clouds and yeah, spiders, and that thing, what you call it, the cooking pot, the cooking pots. Yeah. And I think I'm considering continuing with the smoke down, or just, you know, roll and start down here on a new arch. So I will show you close up, I think. I'm sorry about the needle minder. yeah, no, it's not as difficult. I don't have room to move around here. But I will, if I find one, put up a picture here on the Poison Garden, the full design. And it was my first chatelaine. It's the one I completely fell in love with. It was the only one I liked. I didn't like any of the others, but that changed. But I started that one. I got a kit and everything. I have run out of threads already, so I have made special orders for, luckily that hand dyed thread was still there or possible to get. So I am stitching on 28 count. It's supposed to be stitched on 32 count, but considering how fast the thread was finished, or I run out of it, and how much I have left, I don't think it would matter that much stitching it on 32 count or not. And I'm putting in all the beads as I go. Yeah, good or bad, I don't know. I can't imagine that having it on a scroll frame with beads on, maybe not the best. Maybe not the best. So if you're not like if this would be the only thing I was stitching on, I wouldn't care. But since it's been years, and I know I put it aside for a long time, I know. Look at that. It's I love doing the specialty stitches. It goes so fast, you know. It's not like doing all the cross stitches. The thing I like the least is like the black work or all the back stitching. That takes a while, and you have to plan out how you're going to, you know, move around in the pattern and run the thread on the back side, so it takes a while. So yeah, but it's really beautiful. I also have, whoops, sorry, I have this soft material when I roll it to give it some protection. But yeah, like me, where I put it aside and it takes years to finish, I think I would have left the beading for later. But you know, I have that feeling. I have tried it on a Mirabilia where I stitched the whole lady. The first Mirabilia I did, I stitched the lady and beaded as I went, and so when I was finished with her, she was done. So the next one I did, I stitched the lady completely. I didn't put in any beads until she was finished stitched, and it felt horrible for me because I felt like I'm already finished with it and now I have to start over. So I did not like that. So that is the feeling I would get, I think, from a chatelaine. But also I'm trying on the small chatelaine I showed you just before. I haven't put in any beads, so I will, once I finish stitching that one up, consider, you know, the feeling it brings. Now I'm going to try to pack this up. In my small space. So as you see, I'm sitting somewhere else. My older floss tubes, I was sitting in the bedroom where I have some finished designs on the walls and everything. But lately I'm sitting in the kitchen. At the moment my husband is not home, my daughter is sleeping, or she's in her room anyway. But I want to do some more live shows, stitching and being live, and hopefully some of you will come and join so I can have a chat while I'm stitching. And then I would have to do that with everyone home, so I have to start training, you know, on it's okay to sit here and talk with you guys while my husband and daughter is listening. So yeah. So that was 2023. But as I said, I have also been knitting because I joined Stephen West's The Sock Along, but I didn't continue because I didn't like my choice in needles. So I just stopped. But I did join the mystery Knitalong Shaw. And I'm very, very pleased. I'm kind of happy all the drama happened because the shawl became so much more special and I like the new design so much more. What I didn't like was, yeah, that I had already started knitting when the drama started, and which was of course horrible. But you know, I don't have a big stash I can pick up some crazy colors from, or yeah, and you have bought a hand-dyed kit from Stephen West, which is not cheap, and so that was the thing that made me mostly sad. But it all turned out wonderful, and Stephen is just so wonderful. And this is my shawl, and I did put in all the fringes. And if you are going to knit this, I highly recommend putting these in. So yeah, and the wings, it's so pretty. So I bought some mohair and added that in to save some yarn. So mine turned out a little bit more, I don't know, different, but I love it. I use it all the time, and it's perfect for having like around the shoulders. It has a perfect like flow. It hangs on my shoulders very nice. It's only this one and the United Vertices, yeah, that one is also perfect. But you can also, this is a perfect size for like now when it's been cold, to, you know, have it like, I'm sorry about the microphone now. Like if you're out waiting on the bus or something, it's perfect. So I'm very pleased with this. That I did in October, I finished, but I was cheating a little bit because I knew this event was coming and I had applied for vacation every Friday during October, so it gave me some extra time. But Hohi is also, she also has a Knitalong during, well, she has it during the whole September, October, November, I think. But I joined in September and I made a cardigan. Elton, I think. Elton, I don't know. Hers is a yellow cardigan. I have finished knitting it, but I haven't washed it and blocked it, and I haven't put in the buttons. I haven't done that, and yeah, I haven't tried it on, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna fit. So that's what I did, and this is knitted with the Holst super soft and the Tikana something, but so it's very it's a very thin. Mine turned out very thin, and it's not. I know this is going to make me warm because I made a t-shirt with this yarn, and it's so warm. I hardly don't have to wear a jacket in the winter when I'm wearing it. So it will make me warm, but it's more like just having something on top of when I'm wearing my dresses at work. So I should finish it up properly. Yeah, so that's like the knitting and stitching I was doing during 2023 and now in January. And yeah, as I said last year, I have been reading a lot. I think I read a total of 47 books. And I'm really enjoying having gotten back to physical reading, not just listening, because the experience is not the same for me. So I will just give you a short, so if you don't like books or you're not interested, then I'm not going to talk. Yes, I am. Will I do my wrap-up books? No. Yes, when I started stitching, right? I told you I felt like inspired of, started stitching, and I started looking at all my old whips and new releases, and yeah, yada, yada, yada. You all know how the story goes. So adding and not adding to my little basket over at Heaven and Earth. I know I've said I shouldn't buy anything from them. So yeah, I'll take that back a little. I bought one thing. I don't think, maybe, I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy that, what, it was the butterfly ball, the new release from the 1st of December. They still haven't released the supersized max color. And as I write, every time I see it, and I say it a lot, that I don't see the fairness that one person who wants such a requested and awaited design, that person is going to pay. It costs $30 now for a special request. Plus she has to buy the design for like $19 if she or he, if the person doesn't wait until, there's like a 50% sale. But that would be at least like $40 for one person, and the rest can get it at like half price. So I don't see the fairness in that, and especially I understand if it would be like, I have made a request. I'm very against it, but I did a request. But it's also, I'm thinking, it's of a design. It's the one, it's called Overly Dressed and Enlightened or something. It's one of the ducks. And I have, I remember I requested the Grandmasters as supersize, but we are so few that wants that design in that format. Is also the one with Odin and the Iceland title. I think I'm the only, I would say I might be the only one who owns that that design. But like Amy Stewart are usually something everyone, not everyone, but a big majority ones. So I find it very it's just so, I can't, why should one pay for it and the rest can get it? When you know there is such a big request, you could make a poll, you could, ask your customers, and if you know that at least 20 people would buy it, I think you have earned those $30 it cost to make the special request. or something like that, you know, or just add $1 for each supersized and you will continue get an income during it, or the one who makes the request at least include the design in the now $30 it costs to make the design, you know, at least give that to the person who's requesting it. Or if you are requesting it, you know, at least do not release it to the rest of the people for another 6 months or a year. I don't know. You have to find some fairness in it. And I don't understand why not more of you people out there who are heaven and earth designers and who likes the supersized or the special requests. I don't understand why not more people complain about it. Now I've said it. And I was going on a tantrum here, yes. Anyway, stitching and getting inspired, I started thinking about the Grandmaster, and I know I have one, I have started one, I have a whole kit, so it's just, you know, start stitching it. So half of my designs I have moved up to the attic, so I went into my closet to see if my Grandmaster was in the closet, and he was. So I pulled him out, and I actually put it on a scroll frame, and I'm seriously considering starting to stitch on it. You won't be able to see much because I've only stitched white and some very light blue. So I will just show you his head, and on top of his head he has 3 little birds. So the next color is also a bluish light blue. So I'm considering that. And yeah, I want to start the Grandmaster too. I have the pattern. I don't have the fabric. And I have threads, but yeah. It's 14 skeins of 38.65 on Grandmaster 2. And I was thinking of stitching it like I'm stitching Grandmaster 1, like extreme cross country, where you finish one color at a time on the whole design. So I was thinking of doing that, but we'll see. And I made the request of the overdressed. It's more of a portrait of a duck, so it's just head and chest, I think. And the dress is so nice. So it would be cool to see how it would look as a supersize. But yeah, it would cost me like $50 total. And speechless. So yeah, that's that I wanted to say about cross stitching, I think. But also please let me know if you would like to join, like watch some more live show. Anyway, so my very big hobby at the moment is reading. So this will also be a wrap-up video for reading and yeah, going forward in February. So plans will end with plans. But I have already finished reading 6 books this year. I've finished listening to 2 books. So that's like a total of 8. And the books I finished so far, I have written a little piece of paper here. I finished A Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Frost and Starlight. So those are book 2 and 3 at the ACOTAR series by Sarah J. Maas. And yeah, fantasy is really nice, and if you have a little bit of tension and love and all this, it's also nice. There are some parts in the books which I could do without, but I like the books. And then I read The Lost Sisters, which is a novel from the Folk of the Air series by Holly Black. And yeah, it was nice. It's from the twin sister perspective, I think. POV, yeah, her sister's story a little bit. So that was, I like that when you can read the story from another perspective. So I kind of like that. And then, yes, then I read a book which was very hyped. Me and my daughter, we went to the sci-fi bookstore in Gothenburg the first day after New Year, where the stores were open again. And I had seen this book, The Chain Gang All Stars, by an author. I can't butcher his name, but he's an Afro-American writer. And I saw it in the bookstore there. So I grabbed it. And it was a very difficult book to read. I liked it. It was dystopian. It was cruel. It was brutal. But very, the way the book was written was, it was difficult for me to keep like a flow in the reading. And then we are all different, but when you write books that way, I have a very difficult to follow along and enjoy the reading. But it was a good story. Yeah, really brutal and cruel. He made that really well. And the message, the political message in the book is very, very, very important. So I recommend it if you like the challenge. I also read another book which is so hyped, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and maybe my expectations were too high, but yeah, no, I did not enjoy reading that book whatsoever. I was like, bleh. And I'm not the person who likes to DNF books, so I just keep on reading, because maybe at some point it's going to turn and be a great book. But maybe it was also, yeah, the way the book was written, which didn't speak to me. So don't understand the hype. I wouldn't recommend it unless you like gaming and reading about such things. But yeah, I mean, I must be wrong because it is so loved among so many people. And lastly, I have just finished The Artificial Condition by Martha Wells. Yeah, what's the name of Tomorrow and Tomorrow? It's called Gabrielle said something. Anyway, Artificial Condition by Martha Wells. Now, those books I love. It's the Murderbot Diaries series, and I just love them. So this is just the second book, but oh, I just love that humor in the books, and it's sci-fi. Sci-fi is a bit new to me. I haven't really dived into sci-fi. I will do that this year. So it is a bit difficult because if I compare it to fantasy, I have read fantasy since I was a teenager, played so many online games with the fantasy. You kind of live in that world. So it's like coming home when you read about the books, those kind of books. But sci-fi is like really a new world. I have watched Star Wars, that's it, like the 3 first movies when I was a kid. So yeah, I'm not really into that terminology, so it's very new. So it's a challenge. And then the Murderbot series are really fun books to read, so I recommend those. And then I finished listening to 2 books while I have been stitching this year, and that is a fantasy book. The Final Empire is the first book of the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. I read the book last year, and I have book 2 and 3 on my to be read TBR list of 2024. So I thought I should listen to it. So yeah, to freshen up, you know, the memory, and so I can get ready to read book 2 and 3. But I think I'll be reading them like summertime or something, so I might have to listen to the book again to freshen up the memory. The other book I have just finished listening to is the first book in the Department Q series. It's a Danish author. He's so amazing. You see Adler Olsen. You see Adler Olsen, I guess. And his series about the Department Q, it's like a crime books, and it is in Denmark, and he has now released the last book, which is the 10th book of the series. So me and my mom, we decided we're going to listen to all of the books before we get to listen to the last one. So, and it's going to be released in Sweden in March. So I'm not gonna be able to listen to all of them before then, but I will not listen to the last book until I've listened to all of the books again. So that's quite a lot of books. And yeah, it's just brings me a lot of joy and frustration sometimes when you sit with a book you don't enjoy. But yeah, there has to be bad ones to have the good ones. And at the moment, I'm listening to the Department Q book number 2. And in the evening, I've started reading The Walking Dead, Volume 3. It's a comic book. So cool. And I'm a big The Walking Dead fan. Yeah, I like that. And I've started reading The Seven Sisters. So I'm on the first book there. And it's maybe not the kind of book I would actually pick for myself, but it's one of my colleagues at work who had highly recommended and kind of told me multiple times that I have to read it. So I've picked it up, and that way it's written, it's a way which has caught my, kind of caught me right away. So it's easy, it feels nice to read. And yeah, there's some mystery in the story, which makes me you want to continue, you want to find out, what's going on. And hopefully there will be some romance in it too. It helps, it's kind of nice to read that sometimes. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yes, just under 1 hour. Cool. So I hope you enjoyed this FlossTube. It's like 2 years ago I made one last, I think. So I'll just say, let's stop talking. Let's get back to stitching.